Celebrities in a nutshell.
Adolf Hitler, the rise and fall of a dark figure. Adolf Hitler, one of history's most infamous figures, was born on April 20, 1889, in Braunau am Inn, Austria-Hungary. His life and actions would plunge the world into one of its darkest periods and leave an indelible mark on history. This introduction delves into his early life, rise to power, and the catastrophic consequences of his leadership. Adolf Hitler was the fourth of 6 children born to Alois Hitler, a customs officer, and Clara Polzel. His early childhood was marked by conflict and strict discipline imposed by his father. Hitler showed an early interest in art, aspiring to become a painter, but his ambitions were thwarted when he was twice rejected by the Academy of Fine Arts Vienna. After his father's death in 1903, Hitler struggled to find his footing. He moved to Vienna in 1907, where he lived a bohemian life and developed his early political ideas. It was during this period that Hitler's anti-Semitic views began to take shape, influenced by the prevalent nationalist and anti-Semitic discourse in Vienna. In 1913, Hitler moved to Munich, Germany, and enlisted in the Bavarian army at the outbreak of World War I. He served as a dispatch runner on the Western Front and was wounded twice, earning the Iron Cross for bravery. The war had a profound impact on Hitler, who felt a deep sense of betrayal over Germany's surrender in 1918, which he attributed to internal enemies and the perceived failure of the Weimar Republic. After the war, Hitler joined the German Workers' Party, DAP, in 1919, which later became the National Socialist German Workers' Party, NSDAP, or Nazi Party. Hitler's oratory skills and propaganda prowess quickly elevated him to the party's leadership. He promoted a platform of German nationalism, anti-Semitism, anti-communism, and the repudiation of the Treaty of Versailles. In 1923, Hitler attempted a coup d'état known as the Beer Hall Putsch in Munich. The failed coup led to his arrest and imprisonment, during which he wrote Mein Kampf, My Struggle, outlining his ideology and future plans for Germany. The book would become a manifesto for the Nazi movement. Upon his release from prison, Hitler focused on rebuilding the Nazi Party. The economic turmoil and political instability of the Weimar Republic provided fertile ground for the Nazis' rise. By 1932, the Nazi Party had become the largest party in the Reichstag. In January 1933, Hitler was appointed Chancellor of Germany by President Paul von Hindenburg. Once in power, Hitler moved quickly to consolidate his control. The Reichstag fire in February 1933 allowed him to push through the Reichstag Fire Decree, which suspended civil liberties and allowed the arrest of political opponents. The Enabling Act, passed in March 1933, granted Hitler dictatorial powers, effectively dismantling the Weimar Republic and establishing the Third Reich. As Führer, Hitler implemented policies aimed at creating a totalitarian state. He orchestrated the Night of the Long Knives in 1934, purging the SA leadership and consolidating the loyalty of the military. Nazi ideology permeated every aspect of German society, with a focus on Aryan racial purity, anti-Semitism, and the suppression of dissent. The regime's aggressive foreign policy sought to reverse the Treaty of Versailles and expand German territory. This policy of Lebensraum, living space, led to the reoccupation of the Rhineland, the annexation of Austria, Anschluss, and the occupation of Czechoslovakia. Hitler's ambitions ultimately led to the invasion of Poland on September 1, 1939, sparking World War II. Hitler's military strategies initially brought swift victories, with the Blitzkrieg tactics leading to the rapid conquest of much of Europe. However, the invasion of the Soviet Union in 1941 marked a turning point. The war extended into a brutal and protracted conflict, with significant losses for Germany. Simultaneously, Hitler's regime carried out the Holocaust, the systematic genocide of 6 million Jews and millions of others, including Romani people, disabled individuals, political prisoners, and other minority groups. The extermination camps, ghettos, and mass shootings represent one of the darkest chapters in human history. As the Allies advanced from the west and the Soviet Red Army from the east, Germany faced inevitable defeat. Hitler retreated to his bunker in Berlin, where he spent his final days. On April 30, 1945, with Berlin surrounded and defeat imminent, Adolf Hitler committed suicide alongside his wife, Eva Braun, whom he had married just a day earlier. His death marked the end of the Third Reich, and shortly thereafter, Germany surrendered unconditionally to the Allied forces on May 8, 1945. The aftermath of Hitler's regime left Europe in ruins and the world grappling with the horrors of the Holocaust. The Nuremberg trials were held to bring Nazi war criminals to justice, revealing the full extent of the atrocities committed under Hitler's leadership. Many high-ranking Nazis were convicted of crimes against humanity and executed or imprisoned. The ideological and territorial legacies of Hitler's actions had profound consequences. The Holocaust remains a stark reminder of the dangers of unchecked hatred and totalitarianism. The establishment of the United Nations and the Universal Declaration of Human Rights were direct responses to the atrocities of World War II, aiming to prevent such horrors from recurring. Germany itself underwent a process of denazification as the Allied powers sought to eradicate Nazi influence from German society, politics, and culture. The country was divided into East and West Germany during the Cold War, with each side taking different paths until reunification in 1990. Historians continue to study and debate Hitler's rise and the factors that contributed to his ability to seize and maintain power. Key areas of focus include the socio-economic conditions of post-World War I Germany, the failings of the Weimar Republic, the role of propaganda, and the complicity of various societal groups in the Nazi regime. Hitler's psychological profile has also been a subject of extensive analysis, with scholars examining his personal pathologies, charisma, and the cult of personality that he cultivated. The intersection of his personal ambitions with broader historical forces illustrates the complex interplay between individual agency and structural conditions in shaping historical events. Adolf Hitler's life and actions cast a long shadow over the 20th century and beyond. His ability to manipulate political, social, and economic discontent allowed him to implement a vision that brought untold suffering and devastation. The legacy of Hitler serves as a powerful reminder of the potential for human malevolence and the importance of vigilance against the rise of totalitarian ideologies. Understanding Hitler's biography is crucial for comprehending the dynamics of power, the impact of ideology, and the consequences of hatred. As we study this dark chapter in history, the lessons learned continue to resonate, underscoring the need for tolerance, human rights, and the protection of democratic values.